This is a dandelion. I think you would be inclined to agree. I have a lot of dandelions. Like a lot of dandelions. Every part of the dandelion is edible, but in today's video, we'll be focusing on this part. A lot of people would also be inclined to agree that they're just a pesky weed. That is exactly what makes it the perfect spring foraging food. It's resilient, it's everywhere, and every part of it is completely edible. Also, remember, only forage places where there is abundance. When foraging, you want to make sure you're picking from an area where you can still leave enough for everyone else. Not just other people, but bees and animals. They're an important part of your ecosystem. When it comes to harvesting dandelion roots, you actually want to take the flowers that haven't bloomed yet. You want them with incredibly short stalks, or ones that heads have barely peeked out of the flower yet. This is because the nutrients will still be inside the root. You'll get the most flavor, you'll get the most out of it. Obviously, when the flower blooms, everything that was in the root is directed into the flower. That becomes the main focus for the plant, and you lose out on the root. These are harder to spot because obviously they don't have a bright yellow flower coming out of them. But once you get to know them, dandelion leaves are pretty recognizable. However, if you are not sure, do not take it. This is a general rule in foraging. If you are not sure, leave it alone. Always be sure. Anyway. There we go. Actually got a 3-for-1 here. I don't need the leaves because we're making coffee, but these are also edible. You can have them in salads or whatever you want, cooked, raw. It really doesn't matter. The only thing I will warn you about with these, incredibly bitter. I personally don't eat them for this reason, but you might be a fan of more bitter flavors. So give these a try on your next salad. If you're lucky enough to find them while they're small or even smaller than this, you can pick them, pickle them, and have your own homemade capers. There is so much you can get from your garden without even having to garden. After allowing your dandelion roots to dry for a few days, it's now time to chop them up into small pieces. This will just A, make the roasting process a little faster, and B, make the grinding up process a little bit easier. The size is really up to you and the size of roots that you have. And make sure that your oven is preheated to 160 degrees Celsius fan or 180 degrees Celsius. Once you have your roots all nice and chopped up and ready to go, you want to lay them out on your oven tray. I like to use baking paper, it's just cleaner this way. And then you pop them in the oven for 30 to 40 minutes. You'll know when they're done because your house will smell lovely and toasty. And voila, they are done.
And when you're ready to actually make some coffee, you can take a handful or however many of your roots and grind them up as you need them. This just keeps the flavour nice and fresh, just like with real coffee. And I'm using a coffee grinder here, but genuinely anything you have that will grind them up nice and small will do.
So for our first method of dandelion coffee, we're just gonna boil it in a pot. We're gonna take roughly a tablespoon of our grounds per cup that we want to have. This is also going to work for our iced coffee, so I'm going to make a little extra. And I'm also making some for my partner, so that means I need about 3 tablespoons. Who doesn't like their coffee strong? And this has no caffeine, so this is purely for the flavour. Okay. Now it's about 350 millilitres of water per tablespoon of dandelion coffee, but obviously as you learn how to make this, you will adjust to your taste. Now we will bring this up to a boil and cook for about 10 minutes. Now, while we are waiting for our coffee to brew, we can try it in the simplest way, and that is to have it as it really is, as a herbal tea. I've got my grounds here. Into the bottom of my cup. And then so simply, just some hot water. Now I have honey and lemon with me because that's how I normally enjoy my herbal teas. I will try it plain for you, but my reaction will be disingenuous to my actual enjoyment of herbal tea in general because I do not drink it without honey or lemon. Same with when I have the coffee, I'll be having it with milk and sugar because I don't have coffee without milk and sugar. It smells somewhere between a mix of coffee and toast. There's a hint of green. Quite bitter. I think I could enjoy it like this, but I choose not to. I live in a world of easily accessible lemons and honey, so I'm gonna make use of it. First the lemon. That might be a bit too much honey. Don't judge me. Cheers. Oh, instantly leagues better. Okay, getting the lemon flavour there, love, and the honey flavour, love. And now I can really appreciate the dandelion root tea flavour, and it really is quite similar to coffee. I want to say it's more like black tea, but it isn't. It is, flavour profile wise, it is almost coffee. It is somewhere between the land of coffee and herbal. In the same way that coffee is earthy and nutty, this is earthy and nutty. There are a lot of people that liken drinking coffee to mud or dirt, and I think if you are one of those people, you probably won't like this. But if you are a coffee enjoyer, I wouldn't be surprised if you liked this. I'm gonna say, if you're someone who's looking to get into herbal teas, but you are not a typical herbal tea enjoyer, as I am not, the only real herbal tea that I actually fully enjoy and look forward to is peppermint tea. All the other teas I kind of have to coerce myself into drinking. So if you're like me, this might actually be a really good way for you to get into herbal teas. That is if you are also a coffee enjoyer, like me. If you're me, you'll like this. Are you me? Sorry, I can only talk from my experience. I can only talk from my point of view. The hardest part of this process is somewhere between digging up the dandelion roots and grinding them up. I'm happy with that. Now, shall we try dandelion coffee? That's good. And it's not just the milk and sugar. It's not just the milk and sugar making me say that. Because I've added milk and sugar to many things and still not liked it. But I've added milk and sugar to this, and this is really good. I think without milk and sugar, it would be a less convincing coffee substitute. But because I've subbed it out and subbed in the ingredients I normally have with coffee, it's very convincing. If anything, I would think you just serve me a weak coffee, because the coffee flavor of the dandelion root is not that strong because it's not coffee. But it's still good, and I still think you could trick me, but the flavor of this is nice and tasty. That's all I can. It's nice and tasty, okay? Oh, I got some bits in that one. If you have a coffee filter, I'd recommend using that. I don't have a coffee filter, so I didn't do that. So I think I'm done here before I start chewing on my coffee. But this is good. Now I can't wait to try iced. Whoa! I didn't have to wait. It's right here. Oh. It's almost chocolatey. I don't know if you can tell the degree to which I'm... It's just like... It's almost biscuity. It almost tastes like biscuits. Or cookies, if you're American. That's really unique, but that's really good. I think I've just found my drink of the summer. No caffeine, grows outside. And it tastes like a biscuit smoothie or something. The bitterness is still building in the back of my mouth, but it is so faint compared to when you drink it hot. I've now had dandelion coffee 3 ways, or dandelion root tea, if you want to be more specific. And I think iced dandelion root coffee wins. I did not peg this. I did not think this was going to be my favourite. I did not think this was going to be my favourite. Weird ranking, but this is my favourite. Then is dandelion root tea, and then is coffee. If you made it this far, comment which one you think would be your favourite, if you've ever tried dandelion root coffee, or if you would try dandelion root coffee now that you've watched this video. Consider liking. Please like, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.